As you all know that research methods and methodology is the part which has been assigned to me for the research coursework, and in my last class we discussed in details on research method and methodology. Am I audible? Am I audible? Please let me know whether you can get me or not. Am I audible? Okay. So just come to the point. In my last class, I discussed in details the basic ideas of research method and methodology, and they said that research method exactly implies the methods with which we conduct a research. Now, if I go in details regarding research methods, so we see that research of the techniques which we employ for conducting a research. So the research method, what we mean by research method is just a combination of or in a single technique that we take up to conduct the research process and for formulating the research problem. So research method actually helps us to formulate the research problem, and methodology actually helps to work on that research problem with the data collected through various research methods. And research methodology is just the process of solving the problem which has been created or which has been formulated. Now, so if I sum up what is a research method, so research method is a technique which we employ or which a researcher employs to conduct his research process. The sole purpose of research method is to formulate a research problem and to carry on the research process. Okay, now research methods can be of two types. One is the qualitative research and the quantitative research. So research methods are of two types. One is quantitative research method, another is the qualitative research method. So from the very names that has been given to the various types of research methods, we can have a very bare idea of what actually a qualitative research method is and what is a quantitative research method. So a qualitative research method, just if you have your exercise books with you, just note it down. Is there any problem with the line? Just let me know. Am I audible? Just respond. Am I audible? Okay. Now, a qualitative research method actually consists of, please note it down, open-ended and conversational research methods. So, a qualitative research method consists of open-ended and conversational research methods, and this to collect in-depth and detailed data about the research topic. Please note it down. A qualitative research method open-ended and conversational research methods, and it is used to collect in-depth and detailed data about the research topic. So I think you have understood what I wanted to mean, that a qualitative research method actually focuses on the quality and not in numbers. Okay, so in qualitative research method we find that the collection of data, there is an in-depth search for the collection of data, and the data are collected in details. Now, qualitative research methods are designed in such a way that reveals about the behavior or perception of people under research. Perception of people or any topic or any object, anything. So, in qualitative research method, the focus is mainly on the behavior and perception. Perception means what we receive through our senses. So we have 5 sense organs, and through those sense organs we see or hear or smell or touch or feel or anything. So what we receive through our senses, that those received things are our perceptions. So we perceive those things through our sense organs. Qualitative research method actually focuses on the behavior of the particular object or the thing or the people upon which or upon whom the research is conducted, and it also it depends upon the perception of the researcher. Now, in data that we collect from qualitative research methods are descriptive. So that is self-explanatory, this line is. So the data here is descriptive data. Therefore, it is easy to draw inferences from qualitative research method. And in humanities, especially in research works on literature or social sciences, mainly literature or that is sometimes history, there actually we make our research or conduct the research through a qualitative research method. And here we find that the data that we collect, they are basically the descriptive data, and because of their descriptive nature, it is easy for the researcher to draw inferences from those data. So okay, so what was my point? There was a disruption in the connection. So we see that the qualitative research methods are widely used, basically used in social sciences and behavioral sciences, including literature and language-based research processes. Methods now, qualitative research methods, they actually focus on groups which are known as focus groups. So suppose I am conducting a research on a specific language or a specific literature of a particular group, that group or a specific language speaking community or a specific gender or a specific class, that group becomes this focus group. Now here we find that in qualitative research methods, they actually they base their findings or base their procedures mainly on focus group one-on-one interview, that the researcher is taking interview of another person. It is not just data collection through questionnaires or something. It is more interview through which we can collect data through a qualitative research method. Case study research, ethnographic research, so where ethnicity becomes a very focal point in a research. Graphic research, sometimes qualitative researches are observation research, and record keeping are the various methods used in qualitative research. So what are the various types of qualitative research methods? Focus group, just note it down, focus group, one-on-one interviews, case study research, ethnographic research, observation research, and record keeping. So these are the various types of qualitative research methods. Now, if we come down to quantitative research method, quantitative research method, from the very name you can understand that here the research method mainly focus on the quantity and not the quality. Now, quantitative research methods are those methods basically where a systematic approach is used to collect quantifiable data. Here a systematic approach is taken up or used to collect quantifiable data, those data which you can measure or which you can study in terms of quantifiable data, by performing what? Computational, mathematical or statistical techniques. So in qualitative data research, we find that the various methods were focus group, one-on-one interview, record keeping, observation research, ethnographic research, etc. But in quantitative research methods, we find that they actually are more in this particular method is more keen on collecting quantifiable data through what? Through performing computational, mathematical or statistical techniques. So from these particular techniques, we can come up to the inference that research method is a combination or a particular technique that a researcher undertakes to formulate or structure the research problem. Okay. Now, in quantitative research method, the proper outcome can be deduced. So deducing means you come to an inference, you come to a conclusion, can be deduced by analyzing the data. Now, it is not study of the data what generally a researcher do in case of a qualitative research method, but here the research method focuses more on analyzing the data or through computational, mathematical or statistical techniques in a systematic form. The results obtained through quantitative research methods are statistical, logical and most importantly unbiased, because it is based on quantity. So computation, statistics, mathematical formulations and mathematical deductions, all these take up very important, they play very important role in doing this quantitative research, and here the method brings out a result which is very much statistical, logical and unbiased. In qualitative research method, there is the focus is more on an in-depth study of the behavior of the particular object or the subject or the particular thing or a group of people or a particular people or a writer or whatever you say. There is an in-depth study, an analytical study of the behaviors, of the patterns, of the nature. But here we find that in quantitative research method, the techniques that are undertaken are more statistical, logical, and that's why they are most of the time unbiased. Now, quantitative research methods are applied to a group of the population which represents the entire population. So in quantitative research method, we rely on sample collection. Suppose I want to do a research on a specific community. Now there are many people. Suppose the community consists of 10 lakh people or 1 crore people, or I'm doing a particular research on Indian women or the Indian men or whatever it is, or the Bengali men or Bengali women or Assamese men or women or any kind of community. I'm taking up a particular class, particular gender group or community or anything. Now it is not possible for me to study each and every individual member of that group if the number is large. So in that case, what we do, we need to take resort to quantitative research methods, where we do sample collection, and while doing the sample collection we do what, sometimes we do some random sample collection. We take up some data as samples from a particular group of people, but suppose from 100 people, and we structure a formula or an idea, and from that we draw the inference that if 100 people or 100 members or 1000 member or 10,000 member, they have these particular qualities or these particular trends common in them, it can be taken up as an inference. So we can draw the inference that this is a very general tendency or trend of that community. It is the sample collection method. So is there any problem with what I said right now? Now, as I said earlier, the various types of qualitative research. Now, there are various types of quantitative research also, like survey research, cross-sectional surveys. Please note it down. Types of quantitative research: survey research, cross-sectional surveys, longitudinal surveys, correlational research, casual comparative research, experimental research. All these are primary data collection methods in quantitative research. So in quantitative research, we take up this particular techniques. Do you want me to repeat the names? So this I said a list of techniques that we take help of while conducting a quantitative research. In a quantitative research method, we undertake these techniques to collect primary data. Do you want me to repeat? Please respond. Okay, I'm repeating, as I'm not getting responses from you. Okay, so the various techniques that are undertaken in a quantitative research method to collect primary data, they are survey research, 1, survey research, okay, then 2, cross-sectional surveys, 3, longitudinal surveys. Cross-sectional surveys means just in intersection, okay. Longitudinal surveys, correlational research, casual comparative research, experimental research. So these techniques are undertaken in the quantitative research method to collect primary data. You should know the names of these techniques only, because you don't need this kind of research. You don't require this kind of research methods for doing research on humanities, but as it is a part of the research method and methodology, you need to know the name at least. So these are used for primary data collection in quantitative research methods, whereas the data collected from such methods, they are used in the formulating the research problem, etc. And in secondary data collection method, what we do, that from those data that we collected as primary data through these particular one or two techniques, we in a quantitative research process, we analyze those data and come to and bring an inference from those data, which sometimes serve as a secondary data and helps us to formulate the research problem. Okay. Now, if we come down to research methodology, so research methodology is referred to the study of methods. It is research methodology is the just like research method, it is a collection or combination of one or more technique to undertake the research, to do the research. Research methodology is a study of methods, research methods, and to establish an understanding. So research methodology is a study of the research methods and to establish an understanding of why these methods were used for research. So in research methodology, we try to logically establish taking up particularly these methods in my research program, and how will I use those research methods in bringing solution to the research problem that has been constructed or formulated. So in research methodology, we find there is a study of the research methods and to establish an understanding of why these methods were used for research, or why these methods are used for research. We are using these methods for research. So research methodology, it provides a logical explanation behind the steps taken in research. So in research methodology, we find a logical explanation of why I am taking up these research methods to conduct my research. Now, if you have your exercise books, please note down a few more points. Now, research method, as I said, if there's a question that what do you understand by research method, so you need to write research to all those methods which a researcher employs. So it pertains to, a research method combines, or it consists of all those methods which a researcher employs to undertake a research process. If a question is given, what is research method, you need to write this thing, that a research method pertains to all those research methods which a researcher employs to undertake a research process to solve the given problem. So basically in research method we structure or formulate, and with methodology we try to find out probable solutions for those problems. Now, so a researcher uses a research method to undertake the research process to solve the given problem. The techniques and procedure that are applied during the course of studying research problem, the techniques and procedure that are applied during the course of studying research problem are known as research methods. So it is just a roundabout way of telling what I said earlier. So and I said that a research method consists of both quantitative and qualitative research methods. Now these research method is an approach which can be qualitative and quantitative. Okay, so again, research methods can be put into three categories. So if a question comes, what is a research method, how many types of research methods are there, and what are the various categories of research methods. So regarding categories of research methods, there are three types of categories. The first category, please note it down, the first category, the methods, the first category consists of the method data collection. The first category of research method that is related to data collection. When you are at the very preliminary stage of your research, you are data, you are collecting books, writings, and interviews, and blogs, and so many things. The primary texts, the primary sources, the secondary sources, these are all data collection. So collecting data, so this is a part of the research method. So collecting data. Such methods are used. When do we take up such method? When the existing data is not sufficient to reach the solution. When you are not finding enough things to search problem, you need to collect data. First you will search for the primary sources, and then you will find that these are the primary sources available, and then you will find after reading those texts or books that these informations are not enough to conduct my research procedure. Then secondary sources. So this is how the data collection goes on. The second category, it incorporates the processes of analyzing data. First is the collection of data. Second is the processes of analyzing data. That is to patterns. You will be looking for certain patterns that are common in the writings of a specific writer, or 2 or 3 writers you have taken up, or a specific trend of writing, all these things. And after that you will be looking for a methodology, that is in your case finding a theoretical framework which will help you to work with or to work over the research problem formulated by studying the patterns and establishing a relationship from the available data. Then you will formulate a research problem, and then you will be looking for a research methodology which will help you to structure a theoretical framework which will ultimately help you to find some probable solutions for formulated by you in your research process. Is it clear? So in second category, the second category incorporates the processes of analyzing data, that is to identify patterns and establish a relationship between the data and the things which are unknown. So what is the unknown part? There's the problem part. So from the data that are available, you are successful in finding out certain patterns, and after finding out certain patterns and designs common to those writings or those texts, you are trying to find out a problem, that is problematizing the thing. So when you are successful in problematizing the thing, you will be looking for an argument, and for that argument you will take resort to research methodology. Research methodology will help you to construct a theoretical framework with which you will form the argument and address the research problem to arrive at certain probable solution. So this is the second category. The third category comprise of the methods which are used to check the accuracy of the results obtained. Now after you have found out certain results, or you have drawn inferences through your research process. The third category of research method will help you to find out whether the inferences that you have drawn or the results that you have been able to find out, are they accurate or there are certain fallacies. If there are fallacies, what and how to address those fallacies, or you, in your case, you will also get the scope to find out certain scopes which will help you to conduct further research procedures on the research findings that you have established at the end of your thesis. So writing a thesis or finding probable solutions, I am focusing time and again on the word probable solution. That means there is no absolute finding. Each and every finding opens up new critical vistas to explore, and then only it will be established that your findings are potent enough to carry on further research works. So no research is closed, or no research is just a tight compartment that you have found out a solution and there is an end of the line of thinking which you have followed. So research procedure does not, it always gives you further critical vistas for research explorations. So the first thing that we have done is what is research methods, how many types of research methods are there, quantitative and qualitative, what are the qualities or what are the techniques that we undertake in qualitative research method and what actually we do in qualitative research method, and what are the what is the nature and what are the characteristics of quantitative research method, and what are the techniques we undertake generally in quantitative research method, and how many types of categories are there in research methods is the first, second and third. Now I think it is clear to you. Now regarding research methodology, I will come to the research methodology part. Research methodology, just a minute, I will take a short break, please. I'll take a short break.